Well, howdy guys, and welcome back. Today I wanted to show you guys this OC140 from Veto, but not just this and what it comes with. I bought, I believe, every single new panel style that they have to go in it. Hopefully, so some of you maybe don't have to. I like to do this kind of thing, same thing I do with the Veto bags. I like to get a few, show you guys what they look like next to each other. In this case, I want to show you guys, I've got a whole stack of tools over here. We're going to stick some tools in these panels and kind of show you what won't fit, and I'll tell you what each panel is as we go. So as you know, this OC140 is on the Veto promo for this spring. So now through May, you'll get this bag for free if you buy one of that proper tier bag to get this for free. Now when you get this is exactly how it comes in the free version. You have one panel here that is just elastic straps. That's all this is. We'll go ahead and pop it out. These panels are V-swap, so the entire back of this is a really fine Velcro. The front here, you have your little V-swap deal up here, and then it's almost a hard, it's a really hard surface here. So if you put dirty tools or something in there, it's going to be totally fine. The thing's going to clean easily, other than, you know, probably the straps and stuff. But this is just Velcro straps. So if you have anything you want to stick in here, it's going to be fine. But I mean, they're pretty stiff to start out with. So you can stick your pliers or whatever inside one of these like that. But to me, this seemed minimally useful. Or for a meter. Meter leads would go in here just fine. It would keep them nicely managed. You could tuck all your meter leads in here and then lay your meter on top of it. That would be a perfectly fine use for this panel. Otherwise, your center here is also just Velcroed in place. You have this parts bag, which is a clear parts bag. You can see my hand inside there, right through the bag. But it has Velcro right down this strip right here. And there is the reverse of Velcro right here. The hard side of it is here. So you're able to get other inserts for this, and I got the other insert also. So we're going to look at that in a minute. But that is the bag that you'll get with one of these. So if you're looking at, say, what will fit in here, a 250 millimeter pair of pliers will not fit in there. But hopefully that's not what you're hoping to put in that anyway. This is more like where you'd keep your wire nuts, any kind of loose stuff like that, little plumbing fittings, anything, you know, Wagos, whatever you have that you need for just random things. Even, you know, little bit sets or something like that, you could drop in there and just kind of keep your bag a little bit organized. Or don't put it in at all if you want to make it a whole meter setup in there. So moving into some of the panels, this is the 9-tool panel that they make right here. Same deal, Velcro on the back. And if you've noticed, both sides of this will accept a panel. So you can put a panel in each side of this if you want to. So it only comes with one, but you can outfit it like this if you wanted to, and still be able to stick your one in the center here and have a really comprehensive setup. Problem is, if you put too much in the center, you're going to really limit your space. The bag is only so deep, you see. So if you do something like this with 2 panels, you're probably not going to want to put a bag in the middle or very thin items in that bag. So with this 9-tool panel, we'll pop it right out. They do pop out fairly easily because this material in here is not really Velcro. It's soft, but it's almost a velvet type of feel. So it's a lot finer than, you know, the fur that you have with Velcro. This is going to be for some fairly small equipment. So if you have like your little Weehaw drivers like this, if you have your thermostat driver sizes, stuff like that, those are going to fit perfectly fine in this panel. Most likely, you'll want to just go back and forth with these. There is a small one on the end right here at the bottom. So if you had something there, like, let's see here, we've got a bit. If you had something like a bit extension or anything that's, say, 1/4 inch, there's a nice little, show you what'll fit. This will fit like bit extensions right here on the bottom edge of this row here. Same on both ends, and they did that so these are kind of offset from the top one. So when you put a driver in the bottom, it it will point up here, and then each time when you put one in the top all the way across, they'll all be spaced out, and you'll be able to see what your tips are all the way through the center. So really useful panel for thermostat size drivers. These are actually the Wera Pico Finish Electrics, the 2271 models. I've loved these for a long time. They have a nice end there for into your hand and all, and they're insulated. So just a neat little set of drivers there. We'll pop those out because we may need these on another panel in a minute, but that works very well. And to go back over, that is the OC140 9-tool panel that will end up laid out like that. So kind of a neat little deal right there. So let's see what we have next. This would be the 5-tool panel, and this is considerably more spaced out than that 9-tool panel. You can see those two there side by side, get a better idea. You could fit a lot larger stuff in this panel. I assume if you wanted to, you could start using this for smaller pairs of pliers and things, but definitely not even the size of these NWS. They're too big. But I think I threw a couple pairs of some littler stuff here. Here's a little pair of the Super Nips. Little Super Nips would fit in there just fine. And you could load this out like this, where you just have one side of your plier in the loop and the other side out, and you could put quite a bit of good stuff right in here. So kind of neat for more that size everything. You're still, if you wanted to put drivers in here, it's going to be a tight arrangement. So for your normal size drivers, and the reason I'm trying these is these are just normal size drivers. I have not played with these panels prior to right now. They just came in, and so I figured you guys would enjoy seeing me actually try to figure out what will fit in each one of these. So this is the 5 tool, but even though it's a 5 tool, it has 2 loops here at the bottom offset just like the other one, but they're slightly larger, and they look like, yeah, they would actually fit the thermostat size drivers here. So you could actually just have you a set of thermostat drivers here and then still be able to fit all kinds of other little pliers, accessories, anything like that in that panel, and they'd fit pretty well. So I imagine, you know, we could get quite a bit of little tools in there, but if you get too crazy, these are actually the little wire rope cutters from Knipex, and I'm not sure how long they are, but looks like 160s. So you could fit something like those 160s down in there even, but they're going to crowd everything up. So you're looking at a fairly small tool. These are 125s, and that feels to me like about the right size of tool to go in there. But kind of neat that you could still fit a couple of micro drivers in there. They're kind of handy to have a couple of in a little kit, like I would imagine this ends up being set up as. So that is the little 5-tool panel, and it is interesting to note that it says 5-tool panel even though they did squeeze in the 2 extra holders here, so you can fit 7 in here. Kind of a cool little thing that they've done on both of those. Those are actually fairly useful little deals. This is called the 2-pocket panel for it. This one actually has 2 stretchy pockets just like that, there and there. This would also be very nice for things like your leads, some extra wire, anything in that neighborhood. But really just as an all-around deal, because you can slide your drivers down in this just fine. You could stick you a couple pairs of pliers in here just fine. All this, almost anything will fit in a panel like this where it just stretches to fit whatever you're sticking in there. They're very nice feeling pouches. So this would be one I would probably be very inclined to use. It seems like a lot more useful even than some of these with a bunch of loops. Now, if you have the exact tools that you need for your kit that'll fit those, you're probably good to go. But I like that pretty good. That's a slick little setup right there. One more little peek at that with the 2 pockets in it there. So a lot of nice spacing through there. You could fit, if you wanted to really make your meter nice and protected, if you have a lot of other stuff in here, this stretches quite a bit. So you could probably slide, you know, like your little fluke clamp meter or something like that in there and then tuck the leads in the front. Probably not a bad plan. Nice little panel there. The next one, now we go all tiny. This is a bunch of little loops, and this is 14 driver bit panel. And for this, I'm picturing being able to empty out a kit like this from Wera, and that's probably what I'll do for this. I got several of these OC140s because I bought more than one bag on the deal, and you're able to just load this out. You can see what I'm doing here. Just slide these bits right in. Now, it did fit a whole lot tighter there in the edge, I have to say. These, not at all. So if you're planning on loading this out like I just now was, that's why it's kind of neat to do this together. These holes right through here are a little bit big, and these are going to slide. May not be too big of a deal to you, but they probably won't go all the way through. To me, that's slightly annoying. I like the size of this very first one, and I assume that's going to be the very last one fits nicely too. These are all just a little bit too loose, and that's kind of disappointing, especially for the price of some of these panels. This is not a cheap deal to just buy all the panels that go in this. So now the same deal, let's try this with these little drivers. So what if there's just almost no way to make it work. So if we're going to try to use our larger holes, the drivers end up being just a little bit too long. So clearly designed for the bits, but they don't fit tightly. So to me, this is a little bit of a fail. You'll have to let me know if I'm missing something here. Is there something obvious wrong with the fact that these are just normal Wera? I believe these are probably 89 millimeter bits right there. They're not even a slim bit, and they fit just okay on these ends. The rest of it, they just slide. They just fall right out. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that one. That doesn't seem incredibly useful to me. So this is why we're doing this video. I want you guys to see how some of this is so you can make your own decisions. Now, if you're using something with a larger drive, potentially the bits for it fit, but you're going to be using a fairly large shank, because this is even a Phillips number 3 from Wera. And I mean, it holds, but it just, I don't know. It doesn't, yeah, see that? They just drop right through the, anyway, that's the biggest bit in that entire kit there, and that's just one of their driver kits with the long bits in it. So anyway, hopefully that give you a good idea of that panel and whether you want that or not. That's the 14 driver bit panel. Man, I kind of had high hopes for that. I planned on moving that kit right over because I don't really use the driver with that kit. So that's a little disappointing. And there they went in the floor. How about that? Yeah. So here's the center. Well, this is not really a center as much as this is just another panel, but it has a zippered pouch in it. And this would be super handy if you wanted to have like double parts pouches in here. You can put a center in and then put this down in this side just like that and have duals of these. So this just unzips right here on the front and opens and would give you this nice pouch for space right there on the side. It does expand out like that, so you can actually fit a decent bit in there and you can see through it. So I'm a big fan of the Veto PB parts bags and all that stuff, so that is probably how one of these is going to get set up. I could see getting this very nicely done with a couple of these, and probably that favorite one that we ran across a minute ago. I'm sure it's the one that fell off the desk. There it is, the favorite little pouch like this. For me, I've got one more of their things because I also grabbed that clip, that fancy clip that they've done. I think for me, and this is probably about the most expensive way to set up one of these. I imagine these 3 panels are some of the more expensive ones that I bought. I do not know though. For me, this setup right here would be super handy. I've got a parts bag right here, got a parts bag right here in the center, and then this double sleeve right here. I'll probably end up loading it out similar to this because that looks super useful. So the outside of this bag, they put these Molle loops on the back, and I have a lot of stuff with Molle loops. That's why I'm going to use that term. And you have this clip here at the top on this OC140 that you can just pull up and slide out like that if you don't want this clip on there. But they came out with another clip that you can buy with this bag, and we did get it. So let's go ahead and check it out right now. This fancy looking clip right here. And this is made to go into Molle clips. So if we go back here and go in this Molle strap, this is just going to go in and through. It'll lock back in the Molle like that. And then you can do the exact same thing on the other end. Obviously, it's going to be easier if you use two hands and don't pay attention to the fact that you're on camera. So there you go. There's the clip installed. It only takes a second. Not too bad at all. It's clipped in there very well. There's not a whole lot of play at all, and it is a very solid clip. Now you can clip this, it's important to note, all the way from the top to the bottom. There's a lot of adjustment in this. So if it doesn't fit this bag when I put it on it, I have not pre-tried it, so you're seeing it, like I said. And this is also another bag that I have not even finished loading out for myself yet. Yes, I got the Tech LCT Wheeler this year because I'm kind of wanting to try and experiment with how I'm loading the new truck out. But this was my idea for this deal. Put this clip on this bag, and then it will go on the side of a bag like this. So if you're using a Wheeler or any bag really, the plumbing bags, I believe, have these on the end also, and you can clip this right on. Now, if you don't like how it sits here, you could adjust it higher, lower, anywhere based on where you put that clip on the back. With it right there, I would probably go one more higher just to, there's still plenty room before the handle, and it would be nice to get it a little further away from those wheels. But the clip is a win to me. I will probably buy another one or two more for my other ones because I could see just keeping that on there permanently. That makes this bag super handy. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you got a little bit out of those panels and a little bit of an idea of what will fit in those panels and what won't. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm curious if you guys have added any other panels and how you maybe have loaded yours out. The other thing, I try to be really, I don't have anything to do with Veto at this time. They don't give me really anything. They've given me one thing now, but it has nothing to do with anything I've ever done before. So that'll be in an upcoming video in the future, but I'm not compensated for these videos at all. But if you have a tool or you have an idea of a use for one of the Veto bags that I have, like I'm mentioning this now because of how complicated just this one little bitty bag can be with all these accessories. And I have what it takes. If I have the tool and I have everything to show you how it fits, feel free to reach out on Instagram or at my email address, millis_construction@yahoo.com. Send me the question. I'll do my best to take a picture to send back to you. If you messenger me on Facebook, Millis Construction on Facebook is one of my biggest channels at this point. I think we've got 115,000 followers over there. So message me through that page if you need to also, or my Instagram, and I will try to take a picture of whatever tool you're thinking. If I own both parts, I'll be happy to do that for you to try to help you make a good decision there, or measure something on a bag, whatever you need to know. Done that for a lot of people over the years. Happy to do it for you too. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully that video helped you a little bit, maybe even saved you some money. We'll see you on the next one.